Hello, beautiful being. Thank you so much for hitting play on today's episode, Falling in Love with Yourself. Today, I have a really special guest named Ashlee Zapata joining us to share her wisdom and share her experience of healing her womb. Ashlee Zapata is a 29-year-old living in Southern California. She is a mechanical engineer and found Womb Alchemy by chance in 2021 through a Soul Sisters post about me, Sophia, on Instagram, and it really caught her eye. That one post inspired her into applying for Womb Alchemy, knowing deep inside that it was right. Since the program, her entire being has been cracked open in the best way possible, and she's been growing every day. Womb Alchemy has opened her up to the goddess and woman that's always been within. She's been able to fully embody her truest self, continuing to incorporate womb healing practices into her life even today. Ashlee reflects on her experience in the Womb Alchemy Program by saying, "It's a roller coaster of emotions, and if you dare to take the leap, you won't regret it. Trust yourself and trust what your womb is telling you." Without further ado, welcoming in the Queen, Ashlee Zapata. Welcome, and thank you for tuning into today's Womb Alchemy podcast episode. I am so excited to be here with my sister, Ashlee. She experienced the Womb Alchemy coaching program years ago, and actually, it was back in 2021. I mean, it's 2023 now, so it feels like years ago. And I have had the honor of witnessing this queen evolve and grow, not just within the Womb Alchemy program, but beyond in other one-on-one coaching containers that we've had together. And let me tell you, this queen is so committed to her womb and her journey of empowerment. And I'm really excited to have her on here today to share about her story and to give you a glimpse into what it's like to really initiate yourself into the womb healing journey and what's possible and the changes that come with that, the initiations that come with that. So yeah, Ashlee, thank you so much for being here, sister.
Hi, I am so excited to be here with you. And it does feel like many years ago, but literally it wasn't. But I feel like the amount of energy that I just basically transmuted in that time is like years ahead in my life. So yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. And as you were saying that, something like a divine download that just came in is it feels like years ago because it was so many layers of self ago that the amount of growth you moved through within this time period from when you started Womb Alchemy to now, there have been so many layers of self that you have shed to be who you are now. And it can feel like, oh, years and years, but really, I feel like time is now measured not by like the linear time and the clock and numbers, but by evolution of soul. And that feels like truth. Do you feel that?
That's exactly how I feel. I want to say a few months ago, time, like as we know it, just kind of doesn't exist for me in that way anymore. But as you said, when your soul grows, that's how you measure time. And that's how I feel right now. Like, I don't even look at clocks anymore. I just tune in and kind of go about my day. And it's so liberating that it's totally transformed my life. So I love it.
Right. And it sounds like, you're still functioning in a reality of having a job and having a pet and responsibilities, and you're still in and of this world, yet you're able to merge the barrier between the structure of the masculine and how that brings itself into day-to-day life. And then you create space for the feminine to flow into your life. And that's this disconnect from linear. And it allows space for ceremony. It allows space for presence too. And I believe that healing our womb is a total calibration to the feminine and a feminine paced lifestyle. So you can still be a fully functioning human in this world and be living in ceremony and not feel the pressures of time, not feel the pressures of how much to get done in a single day, but really be present with it all. And I believe that the healing that you have gone through is what has brought you into such powerful presence with your life and the time here that you have as a soul. And that has translated into not being willing to settle for anything but a fuck yes life. And before we jump to that, because I know that that is the byproduct of womb healing and all the other healing work that you have done with yourself, I want to go back. I want to go back to when you first felt that inclination to apply for the Womb Alchemy Program and what that meant for you, what that was, what you were stepping into as you were making that commitment to yourself.
It's actually kind of funny how I came about your page and even Womb Alchemy on its own. I just randomly saw one of your dancing videos about, like ceremony, like I don't even remember the post specifically, but it was just like something random on another Soul Sisters page, and something about it just like reeled me in. And so I started following you and following your content. And then all of a sudden, I saw like you had openings for Womb Alchemy. And it wasn't like, hell yeah, I'm going to do it. It was more like, okay, I kind of want to do it, but I don't know. Is this something for me? I'm not sure. So I went back and forth about it for probably a couple weeks. I want to say 2 or 3 weeks. And then I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go ahead and apply. And we have to do an interview anyways. So if it's meant to be, it'll be. We had the interview and I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to do this. Like, I don't even care how much it costs, which at the time was kind of intense for me, but it was so worth it. It was the most amazing experience, and I'm still doing it, still going through it, and I love it still.
Wow. Yeah. I love how honest you are and how you're highlighting a really real experience that so many of us feel when we're on the brink of something really great and when we're on the brink of like our next level, but we might feel some hesitation into like going all in and taking that leap of faith because a commitment like something like to heal your womb or any online program, like it's an initiation and it's major, and you got to be ready for your life to change, whether you're aware that you're signing up for a life-changing journey or not. And so kind of that back and forth, it really emphasizes how the mind goes through this processing of trying to logically decipher whether or not it's right, when really what I feel like Womb Alchemy teaches us and what you then came into is this body, somatic, intuitive knowing. And that moment of like, fuck it, I'm doing this. Like you had the evidence, the data, the information that you needed in order to surrender into that intuitive space and make your decision from there. And I know that you have been making some hard decisions in your life continuously from this intuitive space. And do you feel like womb alchemy, or how do you feel like womb alchemy and just in general, really connecting with your womb, how do you feel like it's impacted your decision-making in life in general?
Well, from my background, just to give some background, I'm super logical just in my day-to-day job as an engineer. Like I never made decisions from an intuitive place, but always had been intuitive without realizing it. And so after I went through Womb Alchemy, I finally accepted the fact that I'm intuitive and that I know when things are right for me without having to like give myself a reason as to why. And that was something really powerful for me because making those tough decisions, as you said, like I don't have to know why, but I know it's right for me. And from someone that, like I said, has to be super logical on a day-to-day basis, it changes not only me as a person, but everyone around me as well. And I've seen those changes like in those people around me. And it's just like so beautiful to witness, not only for myself, but also in my environment. So, yeah.
I remember when we were working together, and one of the things that you were sharing was that you felt very in your masculine, which is something that you're mentioning now in your profession as an engineer, and you felt very in your masculine and you wanted to more deeply connect with your feminine. And I think that a lot of women can resonate with this. There's different implications here, there's like the pressure that society puts on us of what being embodied in your feminine looks like externally. And that's usually what we approach it from initially in the first place, of like, connecting with my feminine means makeup and getting dressed up and doing my hair and all these things. And if that's part of your expression, which it absolutely is for me, but I'm a very girly girl, then like, great, that can be a part of your feminine, but that's not at all what being in your feminine is about. It's not at all about what it looks like. And this is something I highlight and really emphasize to all the women that I work with. Like, anything I'm teaching you, I'm helping you utilize it as a tool so that you can find your own unique expression of self, not so you can be more like me, because don't be like me, be like yourself. We're all so beautiful and unique in our own essence. And I feel like what you're touching on is this transition from like the linear, logical mind and making decisions from that space, and then seeing the importance of creating space for living in your feminine, which is through the way that you intuitively feel into your life and make decisions. And yeah, I feel like it's really like I've witnessed you transform so much, and it creates this balance of feminine and masculine. And yeah, it's so profound to witness. And I would love to invite you to kind of transport yourself back to before womb alchemy. What do you feel like your relationship with your womb was back then? What even was your perception of what the womb was before you did this womb healing work?
It's so funny that you asked that question because I was thinking about that today. I was like, did I even have a relationship with my womb? And to be honest, no, I didn't. I I always had the example of females that were super masculine, with my own family members. Each woman in my family was, or is even now, super masculine in their decision making. And so when I started womb alchemy, or even just like thought it was something for me, I was like, what the heck is this? I don't even like, I have a womb. Like, I mean, yes, I have a womb anatomy, of course, but I was just, at the time, like, okay, this is an energetic space. Like, it makes sense that we have, this intuitive center. And it just opened up this vortex of just magic. And like the minute that I connected with it for the first time, it was like being home. Like, I never knew that I needed that in my life. And I even wrote in my journal, the little journal that you get in the program. And the first two sentences were like, I feel like I'm at home. And it was just such a powerful thing to read, X amount of years later, that even in that moment when I didn't even know what a relationship with your womb was, the fact that I said I am home just kind of solidified for me, okay, I'm on the right path. Like, I knew at the time that it was important, but I didn't realize how important until right now. So
Wow, I'm like holding back tears right now because of everything you just said. And to go back into your journal this is like, I feel like it was like early 2021. This was like, it's 2023. Like, Yeah, it was years ago. And to go back into your journal and have that physical evidence of like the before of your, cocooning and metamorphosis into all that you are now and all that you continue to become. And that statement of, I am home. And this was just in the beginning of the journey. This was just like, maybe after one ceremony or one ritual of like bringing your awareness into your womb. But that really goes to show how much begins to happen, the momentum that's created the moment that you go all in, the moment that you say yes to being committed to healing your womb is the moment that you and every level of you and your soul, your body, your consciousness enters the realm of the womb. And the realm of the womb wraps you up. It wraps you up into the velvety petals like a rose. And you gestate and you release all that you are not. And you come into so much of your truth and so much of your power. It's like a restructuring, a rebuilding of self. And you come out reborn. And I really believe that womb healing is a homecoming. And this is actually something I've been saying so much in the last week of like, womb healing is a homecoming because we are born from a womb. Every single person is created within a womb. It is the first home that we know. And then we live our life yearning for that same feeling of safety and nourishment and magic and just being held in the divine mother's love. And then also the entire journey of life is a return back to the womb, because I believe that our soul comes from the cosmic womb, the womb of the goddess. And this, I believe, is the center of the universe where our soul is birthed. And so we start our life coming out of the physical womb, and then we end our life coming back into the multidimensional quantum womb. So I love that you brought in this piece about this is a homecoming. And it's a homecoming. It's a homecoming into your truth, into your voice, into your nature as a woman, to be tapped into your intuition, to be connected to your body. And it just, yes, I'm so grateful that you brought that piece in. And I know that you have been very present with the experience of womb alchemy being an initiation in your life. What do you feel like womb alchemy has initiated you into or through? This can be about like challenging experiences you've had in your life, or really anything that comes up with that question. It's a broad question intentionally.
I thought a lot about this today too. Womb alchemy got me to use my voice and to trust in that. And I'm very outspoken and very social just in general, but I never realized how much I would seek validation and seek everything I was missing with myself from others. And I really got down deep with that shadow real quick in womb alchemy. And I feel like it just activated the womb and the throat. And I feel so powerful. And I know that when I speak, it's my truth always. And at one time, actually a lot of time before womb alchemy, that wasn't the case. And it totally rocked my life, living through that rocking right now. And I can't be anything but thankful and grateful and feeling like a goddess because of it, to be honest. It's just one of those things that I guess at the time when I decided to apply for womb alchemy, it was like my womb was screaming, it's time for you to activate. It's time for you to let go of everything else and get down deep with yourself and figure yourself out. And it's time to be who you're meant to be. And I sat here today thinking about it, and it's like, I think it was probably, I want to say like the fifth week or somewhere around there. You said something where the womb and the throat, they're connected. And it did not hit me in that week. It hit me probably last week. And I was like, oh my gosh, no wonder I feel so good right now, because I feel like I'm finally in a place where I'm trusting my womb, I'm trusting my intuition, and no wonder I can like speak and not have any issues and not seek validation from anyone else. And that's literally probably why I signed up for the program, because I couldn't speak my truth. Not even until now. And the people in my life, including coworkers, they've totally seen a transformation from the person I was when I first started Womb Alchemy to now. And they've mentioned, little comments here and there, like, Ashlee, you're the fairy of the office. And I'm like, you're right, I am. I mean, and I work in like a super masculine, very, man energy kind of place. And the fact that they can say that about me, I think that's great. I should bring that to the office. You know what I mean? And because of that, and because I'm not holding back anymore, my whole life has changed. And so I'm not sure what the original question was, but it definitely activated me feeling this way about myself and me trusting myself.
Oh, I had to hold back so many sounds while you were just sharing. I wanted there to be like, I was cracking up about the fairy thing because yes, yes, yes. And then just about feeling the voice and the womb and everything else. I just want to like moan and groan and yes, 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 you, and turn you just celebrate you. And oh, yes, yes. That homecoming piece, we're returning back to our physical womb as the home and as the first home we knew within our mother's womb. But really, you're coming home into your true identity. And when we heal our womb, all the things that are in misalignment, whether that's our relationship with ourselves, with our body, partnerships, where we're living, friendships, jobs, like anything that is not an extension of you that lights you up, anything that does not create space for you to bring in your full radiance, that gets alchemized and it will fall away. And you will die many, many times when you're healing your womb. You just will. You sign up for that. Whether you're aware of it or not, you are metaphorically going to die again and again and again. And be reborn upon yourself, because there is so much conditioning that we move through. And there's such an intense severance from our own feminine. So there's a lot of recalibrating and restructuring and unlearning that we go through. And yeah, it's going to impact your life, because your life is your external reality, and your external reality is a complete reflection of your internal, and your internal reality is composed of the beliefs that you carry. It is a reflection of what you believe you deserve. It is a reflection of potentially unprocessed trauma, or it's a reflection of desires. It's all a reflection of what's alive within you. And when we sift through those layers and we release the things that are not a fuck yes, it realigns us with everything that is a yes. And honestly, it's not usually a trade-off that's like, I'll give up this person and I get this person, say in a relationship. It's not, because you're actually completely surrendering to the unknown. And you're saying, I just know, I trust within my intuition that this is not it. And that I feel there's something else. I don't know quite what. I don't know when it's coming. I don't know how it's going to come. And the ego fucking hates that. The ego's like, what are we doing? I can only measure loss and danger. And your inner womb and inner goddess and inner self is like, trust, surrender, and trust. And we get to live our life by the motto of this or something better. This or something better. And recognizing that you have the power to magnetize what it is that you desire into your life. And you don't have to settle, even if you don't realize that you're potentially settling. There is something that is going to light you up and turn you on in a way that nothing else has before. And you create space for that in your body and in your life when you heal your womb. It's like decluttering a closet. Now you have all this room for new clothes to wear that feels more like who you really are rather than the self that you've been. Yeah.
You just unpack so much stuff for me right now. Yes, to all of that. Like, it's literally not just like, I'm gonna let go of this and let go of that, and everything's gonna be sunshine and rainbows. It totally has not been that way, but also been that way. If that makes sense, I don't know if that makes sense, but I have literally gone through such a time in my life where I sat and I was like, is this really what I want? Is this really what is like lighting me up? And if the answer was no, then I completely just trusted that and changed it. And it's been hard. There's times when I'm sitting there and I'm like, did I make the right decision? Oh my gosh. Like you said, the ego wants to punch you because you made that decision and it doesn't agree and it's not in your norm. And the goddess is like, you will be okay. You will survive. Just receive. And it's literally back and forth some days. Like some days I wake up and I'm like, I will receive and I will be great and I will be fed grapes from the universe. And then other days I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm so depressed. Like I can't do this. I'm just going to cry all day. But every single time I have those days, I'm like, no. Yes, I'm going to like let myself have that moment because it's needed, but no, that's not my life. And I don't think I would have gotten to that point without the womb work. I would not be where I'm at today, changing my wardrobe, like you said, to be my true self. I just feel like I'm finally my true self and finally like being okay with that and not trying to mold myself, not trying to, you know, like get people to like me, not trying to get people to see me because I see myself. And I know that those people, those experiences, those places, like the more I work on myself, the more it'll come to me. And I'll be in the right place at the right time. And I would not be here without that, without working on it, without trusting my womb, without trusting my intuition and just letting go. Even though my ego, just like everyone else's ego, is like, what the hell, Ashlee? What are you doing? Like, you need to go back and do what you were doing before. It kept you safe. So I can't do that anymore. I'm letting go.
Yes, you are bringing in such an honest piece of the reality that comes with this work and with this growth. And it's not a false fantasy that we're living in. We're not selling paradise. We're not selling you'll never have problems or feel sad. Like that's not what womb healing is about. Womb healing, I believe, is about turning on this anchor point in your being that you can always return to, that you always come back home to at any moment that you need to recalibrate, realign. And also it's like this subtle frequency. It's like, it honestly feels like it, if I were to use this metaphor of like turning on a light switch, like the electricity is constantly moving through those wires, whether the switch is turned on or off. It's always there. But the moment that you need it, when you flick the switch on, there it is, right? And I feel like the pulsation of the womb, the intuition that the womb carries, the guidance that it carries, it's always there. It's always subtly vibrating within you, within your body and your consciousness. And the moment that you need to draw from a wellspring of wisdom, there it is. And it becomes a part of your subconscious. In fact, it can override the the programming of the subconscious that might be more attuned to fear, to unprocessed traumas that have now created a whole slew of beliefs that are keeping you living in a box and afraid and in survival. I feel like the womb floods the subconscious with these holy waters of wisdom, and it makes it undeniable for you to live in alignment with your truth. And as you said, people around you might not understand it. And that's okay. And I live most of my life that way. Like, I don't think what I do makes a lot of sense to my parents. God love them. Goddess love them. And that's fine. But I'm not doing this for anybody. I'm doing this for myself because this is my expression of self. And we get to tap into that as our approach to life when we connect with our womb space. And yeah, just the honesty of like, some days are easy and fucking life is great, is feeding me grapes. And I know that you previously had said too, like, I feel like a goddess on a cloud of like pink and blue skies, like being carried throughout life. Like some days are like absolutely like that. And you're like, the goddess is alive within me. I trust, I surrender. And other days you're like, damn, this is hard. There are some really hard things coming up for me. And we learn how to hold ourselves through that. We learn how to hold ourselves through the hard times. And that's where those tools that we learn in womb alchemy of mindset transformation, of holding space for ourselves. It's all of this intuitive feminine musculature that we build. And it's this resiliency that we build to life that helps us become more malleable and flow with life rather than resist and constrict and force and push. Yeah.
Yeah, you literally hit the nail on the head for me because up until this point in my life, it has felt so restrictive, and I finally feel like free. And yeah, of course, on the days that are really tough, I sit there and I'm like, this isn't me. Like, I'm not a victim today. Like, at one time maybe, but today it's not. It's just something that I'm going through, and I allow it. And that's so powerful for me as well. Like I'm not internalizing those things anymore. And the fact that if something bothers me or if something doesn't bother me and I really love it, in that moment I say it, no matter who I'm around. And that is just some epic alchemist stuff because I know I'm probably not the only person in the world that internalizes how they really feel. And the fact that even if those people don't really want to receive what I'm saying, it's okay. And the fact that I'm sitting here saying it's okay is just mind blowing to me because a year and a half ago, or however long 2021 was ago, I couldn't say that. I was living as someone that I'm not. And the fact that yeah, everyone around me, sometimes my family members, they are like, yeah, you do that work, right? Like your energetic work. And I'm like, yeah, that I do. And the only one that really kind of is okay with it is my mom. But everyone else is like, you do what? And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just doing me. And it's fine. I don't have to explain myself or justify anything. And that is power to me, that I'm okay with me. And I can't say that I was like that in a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. So womb alchemy has just transformed my life.
Wow. Wow. That acceptance of self is like the deepest sense of homecoming. That is like self-love embodied. There's these concepts that we can play with of like self-love and love yourself. And like, yeah, everybody talks about it. And it's when it becomes embodied that we actually reap the benefits of the medicine that it brings us. And you coming into this total self-acceptance is the byproduct of moving through these layers of self that have held onto false beliefs about who you are, because of life experiences that you've had, because of your upbringing, because of whatever has molded you to see yourself as anything other than an empowered woman, to see yourself as anything other than the love that you embody. And of course, there's that element of like being human and integrating this divinity of self into being a human. And that's part of the alchemy, you know. It's not about just choosing to live in this one singular expression of self. It's about merging all of yourself, all multidimensional levels of self, and really not needing to explain it to anybody, but being it, and being this like walking tuning fork, carrying this frequency that, as you said, ripples out into the people that are around you. And I see that for myself in my life as well. And I have seen it so frequently with the women that I have worked with and helping them move through the journey of healing their womb, and how they have brought it into their relationships and their workplace, and how we are just all weaving this web together, and it's all constantly exponentially expanding and building on itself. And that's my favorite part, is just seeing the ripple effect, and knowing that this really is a solution for suffering.
I agree 100%. And I will never forget one of the ceremonies that we did during the program. It was something to do with, I think, family or something like that. And I remember we went through the ceremony with a group of women, and I saw my mom in it, and I saw my grandmother, and I saw all of my ancestors. And I forget like exactly what the ceremony was about, but I just remember coming out of it and like being at peace. And we closed the ceremony, and my mom called me right after, and she goes, "How are you feeling? Like, is everything okay?" And it was just one of those like universal moments where I was like, I did the work and everyone's feeling the benefits. And not that I needed that confirmation, but it was just wild that it happened. Like, they could feel it too. And that's why I do the work, like not only for myself, but to show people that they can do that work for themselves, and it changes your life. It really does. I mean, my closest family members have seen it. I'm totally different and more powerful and just at peace with who I am, which I've never had before.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. And there are people out there who are afraid to change, and they're afraid for their life to be different, and they're afraid that if they change, that really significant things in their life might change, relationships might end, they might move, they might want to quit their job, and that fear can be so real and so debilitating and hold us back from surrendering to what we're being guided to, surrendering to the healing journey. So if your womb were to have a message to share with the people who are afraid, what would your womb share with them?
My womb would share that when there is fear, it's most likely something that you should do, regardless of the fear. So confronting that fear with fearlessness, that's what my womb would share.
Period.
Period.
Period, mic drop. Period, womb drop.
Womb, womb drop.
Let me get a womb womb. I've got to bring playfulness into it. Yes, seeing fear as a gateway, as an initiation into the next level of our greatness. Yes, yes, yes. And I just want to thank you so much for coming on here, for sharing about your experience and trusting in the ripple effect of everything that you've shared and everything that you are, and the frequency that you hold for the West Coast. And I'm holding it down here on the East Coast, and we making a rainbow bridge together, womb to womb, woman to woman, heart to heart, soul to soul. And I feel like all the beings who are are healing their womb out there in the world, it's really like we are just creating these like rainbows from womb to womb to womb to womb. And we can create this like beautiful new web of energy that wraps around our planet. In fact, it's happening now, not can, we are creating this web, and it's wrapping around the entire planet, and it is giving the collective consciousness a new blueprint to plug into so that they can unplug from the matrix. And it's a wild ride, and it is a roller coaster, but it is worth it. It will change your life. And it is, I believe, part of our mission here on Earth is to create that new way of being that's aligned with sovereignty and freedom.
I agree 1000%. And the fact that you said roller coaster gives me deja vu, because I feel like that's exactly what I said closing out Womb Alchemy. I was like, it's a roller coaster. Get ready. You're going to go through highs and lows, but it's a wild ride and it'll be fun. So
yes, I have that recollection too. Totally.
Yeah,
and
totally.
I think I even like saved the recording of you saying that and sent it back to you and was like, listen to this, listen to the wise words of your womb, because they are coming through big time here.
That is so funny. You're right. I just remembered that. But you're so right. Like us creating those rainbows, like just when you connect to the earth womb, you see it's totally different, or you can feel it's totally different than it was, a couple years ago. So the fact that we're getting more intuitive and just creating that space for these women to become themselves is just so magical, and it just ripples out into the universe, and I love it.
Yes. It's the womb revolution.
The woman.
Yes, here we go. Oh, so beautiful. Well, thank you, Ashlee, for coming on here today. And for anyone who is listening and is feeling inclined to learn more, Womb Alchemy, the next round of this life-changing program, is starting February 20th, 2023. Womb Temple doors are open for applications. There is a link below where you can learn more about the program. And yeah, it really is just this incredible sacred journey of ceremony, sisterhood, transformation, rebirth, and it's life-changing. Yeah.
Do it. Just do it. If you have that nudge, go for it. It's so worth it.
Aw, I love you, Ashlee. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful soul, thank you so much for tuning into this episode and playing in my Womb Alchemy world. If you vibe with the wisdom shared in today's episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below about your empowerment journey. Come create some magic with me in my virtual womb temple by connecting with me on Instagram and TikTok at wombalchemy.love. If you're desiring sacred support and guidance on your womb empowerment journey, connect with me through the links below to learn more about my virtual womb temple courses, in-person sister ceremonies, acupuncture retreats, and womb coaching. New episodes are uploaded every Monday, and miracles are happening on a daily basis. Catch me in the next episode, sending you and your womb big love.